Some years ago, I ended up in traffic court because of my son. I don't remember the infraction, but I do remember that we had to wait a long time in the courtroom with this line of people in front of us that had to meet the judge and explain their case. And several people in front of us, there was a woman that went before the judge who by her demeanor, by her clothing, showed a certain desperation of life. And when the judge issued the fine as the penalty for whatever her infraction was, I remember her response vividly as she began to weep and say, "Judge, I'm not denying that I did this, but I cannot pay that fine. And if you impound my car until I can pay the fine, then I can't go to work. And if I can't go to work, then I cannot take care of my children. Judge, please, don't do this." And you just kind of watch the eyes of the judge kind of look at the long line of people behind her and recognize the mayhem that would occur if there was no penalty for traffic transgression. Instead, what he did was he reached into his own back pocket and took out his wallet, issued the fine, and then said, "Here it is. Take it to the clerk and pay it." In which case he became at right the same moment just. There is a penalty for your sin. And justifier. He would make it right by what he himself would give. And that is what God does for us when he is saying, "I know your sin. I know your weakness. Nobody's hiding that from me. There has to be a penalty or I am not just. But I will be the justifier for the provision of those for whom Christ died." If that's the provision, how do we receive it? It's right there at the end of verse 26. This is so that God might be just and the justifier of the one who has faith in Jesus. The judge is offering the payment to the woman. What must she do in order to be justified? What does she have to do? She has to receive it. She actually has to receive what he is providing for her. And it's the very thing that God says to his people throughout the world. There is none different, no, not one. Not one righteous person. All before me have fallen short of the glory and the holiness that's in me. But through Jesus Christ, I provided the redemption that you need. I am just and the justifier. And you and I are going to be just fine, says the Lord, for eternity.